Peter Parker is no more, but Spider-Man lives on. These words bring the end to the Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland. Parker can simply live and be a hero despite his erased past. This idea will be the central theme of the new trilogy, naturally stemming from the finale of No Way Home. This theme can be explored throughout the next 3 films. Thus, the first 3 parts of the saga about Tom Holland's Peter tell us about what it means to take responsibility and be Spider-Man. It means that sooner or later you may lose everything because of your power. Confronting difficulties and facing irreparable mistakes, you realize that the cost of fixing them is no less significant than the power you possess. As Peter Parker, you pay with personal happiness for being Spider-Man, and in the end, only one personality remains, free from the need to juggle 2 lives. Now the world is saved again, and friends live safely. The saga logically concludes, but the story continues, and although Peter Parker physically exists, things will never be the same. Despite everything, he remains alone. He can absorb Peter Parker within himself, locking him inside and become a great and amazing hero, Spider-Man. Or perhaps he will decide to give himself another chance, striving for his own happiness, attempting to find harmony between the 2 lives. A completely new trilogy awaits us, a quest for balance. This theme possesses immense flexibility, and the questions it raises can be endlessly explored. Firstly, because the theme of Spider-Man's identity is flexible and it can be nuanced in numerous ways. Secondly, Spidey is no longer confined to the vast MCU and its stories. He's forgotten and his own world belongs to itself once again. And thirdly, it will be incredibly fresh as this theme has barely been explored widely. Unlike other films, it's not Spider-Man who fades into uncertainty, but Peter Parker himself. He remains only a hero, obligated to protect and save his city. Now, as Peter avoids new connections, Spider-Man's life becomes an endless routine, bringing only bruises, cuts, pain, and loneliness. He contemplates who he should be. For 3 consecutive films, Peter holds on to faith in his new alienated life, then gradually succumbs to the emerging desire to be happy. In the process of realizing this desire, he brings everything to a crisis and ultimately finds happiness and tranquility, striking compromises with his life. There is a lot to extract survival from such a story. Marvel and Sony need to break free from constraints. I believe the strong connection with other characters such as Tony Stark, Nick Fury, and Doctor Strange was beneficial for the character's evolution in previous films, helping him realize himself as a hero and understand what it means to be Spider-Man. Now that Peter has rid himself of the need to depend on the influence of others, he is completely free. Rolling him back makes no sense, and limiting his interaction with other characters, aside from a possible appearance in the next Avengers, is unnecessary. Many want to see Spider-Man as the new leader of the MCU, but I don't desire that. Loki or Doctor Strange are better suited for that role. The world of Spider-Man represents a gigantic wealth of history and villains surpassing other Marvel characters. Sony understood this correctly as early as 2014. Spider-Man is the richest and most iconic superhero in the entire Marvel universe. He is a world unto himself in terms of uniqueness. He doesn't need to mimic others, and his distinctiveness from the rest makes him special and recognizable among others. And a new trilogy under the guidance of a new director deserves to become a genuine, inspiring, and amazing cinematic experience. However, for a compelling story, you need a compelling villain. Here, a problem may arise as Sony and Marvel have already used practically all iconic antagonists in previous films. If a 4th movie introduces a new Norman Osborn and Harry, it might seem odd as Parker already inherently knows that Norman is a potential Green Goblin. Such plotlines raise numerous questions with few answers. The most logical move is an arc involving symbiotes. Venom's storyline with Tom Hardy suffered only from one thing: the absence of Spider-Man. Symbiote storylines without Peter are like a dish without sauce. They lose flavor and zest. Moreover, the introduction of Venom has already been teased in the MCU, and with greater likelihood, this storyline will become the focal point in the 4th film with Holland. Venom is a key element in Spider-Man's mythology, and his inclusion can evoke nostalgia among fans and establish a deeper connection with the original materials. Venom represents a dark force, and his potential merging with Parker can add new layers to character development. The symbiote can create internal conflict for Peter and introduce emotional challenges. The psychological pressure that Spider-Man is now alone and can no longer reclaim friends could be a fantastic foundation for the plot. It's worth noting that Tom Hardy has recently delighted us with the news of the resumption of filming for the 3rd Venom movie. According to Daniel Reichtman, the threequel will be the last solo story for Hardy's Eddie Brock within Sony's Spider-Man universe. Therefore, if he ever appears in the future, it will likely be in a supporting role or a cameo. Perhaps he'll become a member of the Sinister Six or something similar. Additionally, Reichtman claims that Sony producers are planning to incorporate some elements or even full-fledged characters from their movie universe into the plot of Spider-Man 4. more. How this will look is hard to say, but considering that the MCU and Sony movies exist in different worlds, one might speculate that such an approach could be inspired by Madam Web traversing the corners of the multiverse and interacting with various spider people to form a team to defend the world. A potential meeting of Dakota Johnson with Tom Holland could further tie the two franchises together. In the worst-case scenario, the creators might resort to the Spider-Verse concept where villains can move across different universes, as seen with Vulture in the post-credits scene of Morbius. However, it's worth noting that such an idea could risk turning Spider-Man 4 into a copy of No Way Home. Nevertheless, considering significant changes and potential revisions to the concept, Marvel may have reconsidered everything, and now we might be in for something entirely new and unique. While insiders have hinted that the fourth movie might focus on a more grounded confrontation between Spider-Man and Kingpin, with Daredevil played by Charlie Cox, none of this information has been officially confirmed. Despite Kevin Feige's statement that Spider-Man will become a street-level character, recent developments suggest Marvel is in a bit of chaos. Numerous plot lines remain unresolved, and characters seem to be losing their appeal. Honestly, I don't want Daredevil to appear in the fourth film. I want Spider-Man to be the main character without the involvement of other characters. Let Daredevil evolve in his own solo show. We've seen enough of Parker being a protege to Stark, Fury, and even Doctor Strange. It's time for him to mature and become a full-fledged hero. Any ties to other stories will spoil everything. After all, what was the point of the No Way Home ending? Essentially, Marvel gently retconned Spider-Man's arc. A new director can choose almost any storyline, and that would be the right move. Ideally, I'd love to see Harry Osborn, but Norman was already in MCU and Parker aware of his potential as the Green Goblin. It's tricky. Authors could ignore everything, claiming that Osborn's and other actors' portrayals have always been in MCU, just like businessmen and nothing more. But that's at the very least peculiar. I have a more fitting idea for introducing Harry Osborn into the storyline. It can be done similarly to what was done with MJ. Zendaya's character is named Michelle Jones, not Mary Jane, even though Michelle Jones is an entirely different character from Marvel Comics. In essence, Zendaya's MJ is the Mary Jane for Tom Holland's Peter. The same trick can be used with Harry. Suppose in the university, Parker encounters a guy named Henry Oswald, for example, or any similar name. In fact, he'll play the role of Harry Osborn, just under a different name. This could open up possibilities for exploring symbiote arcs and new Osborns. However, it's essential to acknowledge that introducing Harry Osborn under a different name might be perceived as a delicate narrative maneuver. The challenge lies in maintaining authenticity while deviating from established comic book lore. Nonetheless, this approach could offer a fresh take on the character similar to what was done with MJ. The advantage of this strategy is that it allows for creative flexibility unbound by strict adherence to previous portrayals. It provides the narrative freedom to delve into uncharted territories and surprise the audience with unexpected twists. The name change becomes a deliberate choice to maintain a level of unpredictability, ensuring that the storyline remains engaging and intriguing. By crafting a nuanced and original take on the Osborn character, the narrative can unfold organically, presenting challenges and developments that resonate with both new and seasoned audiences. This approach opens the door to exploring complex character dynamics, psychological struggles, and the potential for Osborn to evolve in unforeseen ways. In essence, this creative decision aims to balance respect for established Spider-Man lore with the need for innovation and unpredictability in storytelling. It invites the audience to embark on a new journey with familiar characters, discovering unexplored facets of the Spider-Man universe. Subscribe.